Broncos country. Thanks for joining, guys. The Broncos, man, we should be happy about the way that they're playing. Sitting at 7-5. They're in full control of their destiny. They are in the driver's seat to break the playoff drought of 10 years now since the Broncos have gone to the playoffs. Or it might be 9 years. Whatever. Either way, it's been way too long. I'm going to break down some different paths, exactly what it is that not only the Broncos need to do. We know what they got to do. They just got to keep winning games, and we're not going to have these external discussions. But there's some, it's Thanksgiving. It's that time of the year where you start talking playoff scenarios, playoff picture. And there's going to be some other games that I think Broncos country should really pay a lot of attention to that'll really sway the odds of the Broncos making it to the postseason or not. We'll dive into that here on the video today. Guys, if it's your first time on the channel, welcome. I appreciate y'all tuning in. My name is Mark. I'm here with Marky Sportsman. And if you love Denver sports, specifically the Broncos, and you also like the Avs and the Nuggets, go ahead and do me a favor. There's a little subscribe button below in this video. Hit that. Give it a little smashy with your finger or your mouse, whatever it is that you want to do, and like the video. It'll really help me out, man. And hit me up in the comments. I've been really enjoying a lot of you guys in the comments lately, man. Let's collaborate. Let's talk about some stuff. I'm all for it. So I appreciate y'all in advance, and let's get into it. All right, guys. Right now, as it stands, looking at the playoff prediction model, go ahead and hit y'all with a share screen here. We can go through this together. The Broncos currently have what the New York Times, shout out to them, and they've got a really cool little playoff prediction map. It's actually pretty accurate considering I've kind of followed it for the last few years, and it usually turns out pretty good. But the Broncos right now are sitting at a 60% chance to make the playoffs as it stands right now. Now, obviously, there's a lot of variables that change it, right? And I'll put a link to this interactive tool in the description below in the video so you guys can play with it. And so not only does it talk to you about like, okay, what happens if the Broncos win this game and the percentages go up, and then it moves on to the next week. So hypothetically, if the Broncos win the next two games, right, versus the Browns and the Colts, they should have an 81% chance to make the playoffs. But there's a lot of other factors that go into it as well without even us having to play a game. So, for example, when you look at the Week 13 schedule here, you're going to see that there's a lot of games that don't mean anything, and there's going to be some games that actually really have a big impact. And it's starting on Thanksgiving night, the night game, Thursday night football, call it, and against the Packers and the Dolphins. Now, if the Dolphins end up winning that game, it actually, without the Broncos even playing a game, it makes our odds go down to 40. It said 49%, but it's going to be about 56%. Whereas if the Packers end up winning that game, it's going to shoot our playoff chances up a little bit higher. Now, it's not going to make a difference here because we haven't actually selected the Broncos to win against the Browns. But if they win against the Browns and the Packers win, our chances are now in the, about 73%. But if the Browns end up winning that game and the Packers end up winning, we're going to still be right around a 50% chance. But here's the big kicker, guys. If the Broncos end up dropping this game and the Dolphins end up winning that game, look at the kind of impact that it has on the Broncos' playoff chances. Now, here's the thing for me. Here's the way that I always look at it. And I think naturally as a fan, we always just get super caught up in like, oh, well, we need this team to lose and we need that team to lose. We need this team to win. We kind of lose sight of the fact that, like, at the end of the day, if we just win, we'll put ourselves in a really good position to be able to make the postseason, obviously, because right now we're in full control of our destiny. Unlike, in years past, it's been a really, really long time. But just messing around with this tool is actually, really neat. And I would highly recommend, going into it and checking it out. Now, here's going to be the major key, I think, with the Broncos more than anything about what their path to the playoff looks like and what do they need to continue to keep on doing, right, in terms of being able to find a way to stack wins. They need to continue to play elite defense like they have been. When you're looking at this upcoming game against the Browns, I look at it like, man, this is a team that on paper we should definitely beat. It's our opportunity to be on primetime on Monday Night Football at home. Everything's setting up for us to to allow for us to, saying that we should really be winning this game. Now, I do think that the Browns, even though they're a 3-win team, are much better than their 3-7 record, 3-8 record shows. They've gotten a really big boost from Jameis Winston since he took over as a quarterback there, and they've got a really good defense. When you got a really good defense, you're typically going to be put you're gonna keep yourselves in a lot of games. You saw what they did last week against the Steelers, but the Broncos just need to go out and do what it is that they do best. And one of my big concerns, and one thing that they need to emphasize going into November and December football, is they need to figure out a way to run the ball more efficiently and run the ball at will, because the weather's going to start getting colder. Teams are going to, start to really realize, hey, man, maybe forcing Bo Nix to beat them is going to be the strategy moving forward. They're just going to be able to stack the box and consistently try that. And there's going to be a lot of factors, man. Weather's going to start being bad, or the offense just might be having an off day. And when that's the case, you need to have a run game that you can rely on. And I always say Bo is an extension of the run game. And if he needs to use his feet to get rush yards, by all means, I love that as a weapon. But we need to be able to find a way to average more than 4 yards a carry. And lately, it's been way below that. It has not been good enough. And one of the things holding us back, let's just be honest, is the fact that we've kind of got 3 running backs that we're each trying to give a chance to, and hoping one of them has the hot hand so that we can roll with them. And if it doesn't happen, we kind of just abandon it. And we need to figure out a way to be able to get a run game consistently going. Not just for those games where maybe the pass game is a little bit off, right? Bo might be off, or the receivers are dropping balls, or whatever it might be. But for those games where you've got a lead going into the fourth quarter, it's cold, the weather's bad, and you need to say, we need to put this game away right now, and you need to run the ball down their throat. You see it all the time. The teams that are so good in September and October, they start to falter a lot in November and December because they have a lack of ability to consistently run the ball. I can name a bunch of different teams as an example. Specifically, the one that comes to mind is the Dolphins. Every year as the weather starts to get colder, they just seem to can't really stack up wins because, weather can be a neutralizer for a pass game, big time. So we need to be able to figure that out. And I'm kind of getting to the point now where I think instead of us trying to, figure out who the hot hand is and, give Javonte some carries and give Jaleel some carries and give Estimate some carries, just pick a running back and roll with them early and often. Let them get into a groove and then, figure it out from there. If you also notice, every other game, Javonte Williams is really good. And then obviously the games that he's not good, he's really bad. And he just kind of flip-flops week to week. He was terrible last week, good the week before. And so, hey, it's his turn, Javonte. It's your turn against the Browns this week. But really being able to establish that identity as a bully of a team. I think we have the offensive line to do it. I love the fact that we still have Michael Burton, who's a really, really good lead blocking fullback out there as well. Why aren't we committing to it, and why aren't we, being more productive from a run game standpoint? It blows my mind, but it's something that we need to be able to establish. That's, I think, the one piece that's really, really missing right now in terms of the overall growth from this offense. And then defensively, we've been stout. We've been really good. Obviously, one of the best defenses in the NFL. I can't take anything away from them at all. December football, they're going to have to, take their game up to another level, continue to emphasize stopping the run. And I want to see those turnovers start to pile up, man. I want to see this team be a little bit more of a ball hawk, get the ball out type of a defense as well. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think below, man. It's an exciting time to be a Broncos fan. I'll tell you that. And it all starts because of the franchise quarterback that we have and what it seems to be in Bo Nix. But we're in control of our own destiny. I cannot wait to see how this next month or so, heading into the playoffs, plays out. And I'm feeling optimistic. But this is the next step in that growth process, right? We've broken so many different streaks. We really start to see that culture shift. A lot of things that plagued us in the past are starting to not plague us as much. And this is going to be that final next step of, can you win those big time games that matter late in the season to punch a ticket to the playoffs? We were behind the 8 ball a lot last year. We crawled our way back. We ended up falling flat on our face on Christmas Eve against the Patriots. So let's see what it is that we can do. Every single opponent in the NFL is going to be tough, especially this time of the year when everybody's kind of playing desperate, or you got a lot of guys playing for them, playing for their teammate and playing for their future in this league. You're going to get really, really solid effort. Just like we had seen last week with a Raiders team that had no business being in a close game with us the whole time. They were, because they earned it. So, all right, Ren. Well, Let me know what you guys think below in the comments. What do you want to see from this team specifically that we haven't really seen a lot of moving forward as we make this playoff push? Let me know below. Anyways, guys, I'm out for the night. Y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, man. Spend time with those people that you love the most. Go Broncos, baby. And until next time.